Hello guys, you can see how these animals are sleeping, chewing cuds. Now their stomach is now full, they are now chewing cud. So this tells you that actually what is happening here is that this is now milk being made. Production of milk starts here. Relaxed, chewing cud, digestion taking place, and the entire thing. Let's just have a look at these animals. These animals are around 20 in number, and they give us more than 600 liters. So that means this is an average of 30 liters per animal. So that means we have the highest producers, and then at least we have least producers. So when we just do our summation and we put average with the number of animal, we now obtain that number of animal that I'm talking about. Hello guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. It depends on the time you're watching this kind of a video. Remember, I go by the name Lumumba Junior, the animal lover himself. Remember, I'm in benchmarking the whole of this week. Let's keep on learning. I'll show you tricks in dairy farming. The whole of this week is just basically tricks in dairy farming. Like you can see now, I want to tackle a topic in now how this farm achieve more than 30 liters. I won't take this session alone. I have to integrate other people, so that I think they can explain to you how this is being achieved. Let me show you. Now it is milking time. This is milking time. You can see now milk is being milked. Milk from these two animals is being poured to that gallon there after measuring. Then we have here, these are the animals that are being milked in this farm. Approximately 20 of them. These are the animals here, very friendly. Others are just sleeping. Remember, when the cow sleeps in this manner while chewing cud, you can see like these animals chewing cud. You know, after eating here, when animal is eating here, remember, this is not the point where milk is now being where milk is being we call it production of milk. It does not start from here. You see, when this animal is lying here chewing cud, and this one standing chewing cud, this is now where the milk processing starts. You see, this enough time to chew cuds, relaxing while chewing cud. So this means milk is being produced in these animals. Give it enough space, give it enough time to chew cud, because by this and another thing, you can see like those animals there, they're leaking on minerals. These are the factors that actually promote the production of milk, which is being achieved there. Let me go nearer. You see like that animal, it is leaking salt by itself, freely. You know, the animal knows that this is the time to leak salt. This is not the right time to leak this salt, because it only leaks salt with this salt, especially when after milking we get that a lot of calcium is being deprived from the body. Now with that, we get that this animal leak a lot of salt, so that actually to supplement their bodies through the loss of these minerals. Now we can see these animals are being milked. So let me just take you through why we have good production in this farm. One of the things we will talk about is this feed. You see the way these feeds look like. This enhances production. We have now clean water. Remember I told you about clean water. This water that is being put here is very clean. Only that the animal, when they are feeding from there to here, it gets dirty. That is one of it. Another thing is cow comfort. The way you see these animals sleeping this way in a mattress, with that, just sleeping, chewing cud, it is now producing. It's actually the tissue that are now producing enough milk from the system. Then we have these cows. You see, these ones like chewing cud. These ones are waiting to be milked. So this everything that I'm talking about, this ventilation that you see here, promotes this production of milk. So guys, I'm going to dive deep on how this production is being achieved. Remember, feeding alone, feeding animals does not achieve that. We have to integrate different things. Remember, we have to start from the genetics itself. When I talk about genetics, I'm talking about a good genetic animal, and today I'm going to explain to you how genetics explain this all. Like this is a Adaline, yeah. So in terms of genetics, you have to know that start with high-yielding breed like this Ayrshire. This Ayrshire came from a dam that produces a lot of milk, regardless of the body size. I told you this Adaline does not even reach around 300 kgs. But what's the milk production? This animal is an Ayrshire, but it produces more than 80 liters of milk. So when I talk about genetics, if you are using AI, choose bull with high milk production trained by the word AI. AI is artificial insemination, where you see a veterinary has a bag with a nitrogen tank. And mostly be a farmer who does his own research, and don't look at how much will you be charged. Just ask your vet to bring you actually segment with good quality for milk production. You see, like here, actually what is being done here is all about genetics. They select good breed. They look at milk product, where they only select, you see these all animals here, their genetic traits, actually they come from a higher milk yield trails. Another thing is about nutrition. What I could do, feed your animals like a champion. Once you feed your animal like a champion, when I'm telling you to feed your animal like a champion, don't push yourself because you are feeding this animal, you can't see any return. You have to dedicate yourself in feeding this animal. What do you that feed your animals like a champion? A high yielding cow needs 20 to 25 kg of dry matter within one day. So that means you feed according to body weight. That means roughly 2.5 to 3% of body weight of dry matter. So that means when you're feeding this animal, you must have a record of their weight, so that you feed around roughly 25 to 30 kg body weight. Because you see, like this animal, before they place the feed here, they have to weigh this feed. And what is being done here, this animal feed on a balanced diet. What do I mean by a balanced diet? Let me just put the camera on the feed as we talk about a balanced diet. When you look at this feed here, this is a balanced diet, where we have a total dairy dry matter intake, where we call that DMI. And this one, we have to look at this one. A high yielding cow needs around 20-25 dry matter, the way I told you. Then in terms of in terms of forage, you must have high quality forages, where you can even choose to have something like maize silage, hay, and maybe some other supplement, maybe like protein supplement like Lucerne. And do you know why I recommend silage for this? What do we mean by silage? Silage is not a word that because you have seen, you can go somewhere, somebody tells you that this is silage. When somebody says that this is silage, because I remember one day I went for benchmarking, when somebody was talking about, it was the maize stock. He was calling the maize stock that this is silage. When you look at appearance, that he's telling that I'm now making silage. What do you mean by silage? Silage is fermenting. When this animal feed is being fermented, you have to do that fermentation very well. When I talk about silage, that means placing this entire thing in a fermenting situation, so that you can really achieve what we mean by this fermentation. So this basically helps the cow to these things with a lot of ease. Like this farm, you can see where this silage is being fermented. You see these tanks, eh? We have some tanks here. I'll come back and show you how these are. We can talk to this gentleman feeding this animal. He will tell you what is hiding on top of these. Let me show you where this silage is being fermented. Silage is inside here. Yeah, these tanks, these ones are empty. Yeah, we have silage here. You can open one so that you can really appreciate. This is silage inside here that I'm talking about. Now look, this is now silage fermented. This help in terms of digestion. Remember, the rumen of the animal ferments this type of this. So I've just seen somebody doing, let me seal it properly so that I actually can't spoil this silage, leaving air inside. So this silage has to be airtight. Airtight. When I say about airtight, it has to be sealed very well. I was there, actually I've gone actually I've not tied it well, but I'll be back, then I tie it well. I was talking about something here. You can see this gentleman here called Mr. Steven was putting some things here. You can see what this cow is eating. So with this, we call this concentrate. So this means in animals, when feeding this concentrate. So guys, I was telling you that this is concentrate, and this specifically, you can see this is pollard. This is wheat pollard being fed to this animal. I was talking about because you see, for any, okay, we usually have where like 20 liters. They say that this is anything above 20 liters in this farm. In every 2 liters, you feed around 1 kg of concentrate. So let's say like this Adeline, this is Adeline. Adeline is being milked. When it has anything above 20 liters, it gets an extra 1 kg, 2 liters to 1 kg. What do I mean? If this Adeline produces, let's say, 40 liters of milk within 1 day, so that means apart from these 20 liters being produced, that is above the maintenance. So that means this Adeline, when we feed it maybe on this other feed, it can be able to produce 20 liters without any concentrate. So like this animal, anything above this, like let's say it is now giving us around let's say 22 liters. So if it is giving us 22 liters, we have to give it 1 kg of concentrate. So that means this is formulation that we usually do here, containing, we call it dairy meal. So 1 liter for every 2 liters, 1 kg for every 2 liters addition of milk. So let's say like it is giving us 40 liters. For 40 liters, now we have to do some maths here. So that means we'll give it 5 kg of concentrate. This is from having good genetical high yield producer animal. So for those animals, we can feed them that way. Then we have some byproducts that we usually give these animals. Like for example, the cotton seed cake, the wheat bran that I've shown you some wheat bran here. Then we have to give them protein, which is 16 to 18%, actually 6 to 18% crude protein in the total diet. Also we have to give them energy, enough starch, fat for milk energy. So that means when we are making our dairy meal, we have to put some molasses on it, because these animals, we don't feed them directly on molasses. You know the advantages and disadvantages of giving them molasses. Then this is now fundamental. Giving them yeast, not yeast, vitamins and minerals, especially calcium. We have mineral blocks here. You see like this one. Let me just show you this mineral block. These are mineral blocks. These mineral blocks contain calcium, phosphorus, trace minerals like magnesium, also vitamin A, D and E, to help in production. Another thing is about sometimes make something like alcohol for our animal. What do I mean alcohol? Something that ferments. We can even use something like yeast or bicarbonate just to enhance fermentation. Remember, we have to corrupt the stomach of these animals so that we can make them produce a lot of milk. If you hear we're making alcohol, you know yeast is made for making alcohol. Sometimes we just give them alcohol so that we make a homemade alcohol from yeast. We put some maize jam so that these animals drink the whole day, eat the whole day. Remember, alcohol just you're just stimulating the milk production. Yeah, I'm not talking about that people go feed on being drunk. No, these ones they don't get drunk. Another fundamental thing is about water now. Yeah, water, the forgotten milk maker. A cow making around 40 liters of milk can drink up to 100 to 150, because when I was here you have seen a lot of animals drinking water like this one. So that means the water should be clean, cool, and always available. You will never come here you get that water is missing here. To my surprise, I've gone to some farmers, you know, they only give the animals water during lunchtime break. Yeah? When animals have gone to graze, when animals are back is when they give that water. That is not enough for that water. So water should be there where the animal is being grazed, where the animal is being tied. So make sure you have plenty of water. It can access that water freely. Another issue, another thing is about comfort housing. Yeah, I told you, have you ever seen animals sleeping on mattresses? That is a mattress. All these paddocks here, they have mattresses. You can see these are mattresses. It is not a matter that you buy mattress. The key factor here is the first thing you have to make sure you have shade. Provide shade, then soft bedding, stress-free environment. Here these animals only move here when they are going to be milked. Apart from milking, these animals stay here, so that means they are stress-free. And any other person that you see milking here, after feeding this animal, everybody disappears from this premise to give these animals at least, you know, sometimes these animals, you know, once you become very soft, the softer you are, they can be very tough-headed. Yeah? So sometimes, you know, once you take them to milk, others will disturb you. So with that, you have to show them that you can beat them up. Yeah, when taking them, so we don't want to create that fear, because you kick me while going to milk. Then when you are here, you want to feed me, I won't eat. You know, even the animal can tell you, I don't want to eat because you kicked me. So to avoid that stress, because animal will see you and be full of stress, everybody gets out of here, goes to work. Then when reaching time for milking, everybody will be here. Then milking progresses is being achieved. Remember I was telling you about housing, bedding, ventilation. Good ventilation. You reduce heat stress like the wild. It is being done like this. It's very sunny. That's why they have translutants. This because to prevent something like heat stress and the entire thing. Another thing is about regular milk routine. Like now, you can see these animals are being milked. They milk here 3 times a day. Yeah, you can see now they're putting the machine here. They milk 2 times, only 3 times a day at consistent time. Because for here, they milk very early in the morning. That is 5. Then they milk at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Then in the evening they start milking at 8 p.m. So that time is consistent. And this they have to ensure the clean udder hygiene and no stress during milking. Clean udder, you can look where I was demonstrating on how to milk using a machine. You can see like this cleanness is ongoing. This is what they use in milking. Every animal with its own cloth for milking. So there is when it is being hung, so that at least clean and hanged well, so that they can dry well. Yeah, that's what we mean by regular milking routine. Another thing is monitor health problems. What do I mean the health? When I talk about health, any other factor like maybe the animal is sick. You know, once the animal is sick, you get that production loss. And when I'm talking about health issue, remember deworming is one of it. In some my clips about poultry, I've just talked about things that will make your poultry not produce enough eggs. One of it is just about deworming, and I've explained it this way. We have parasitic infestation, not even, but we have overload of worms inside those stomachs. So when we have a lot of worms to those stomach, that means that when these animal feed, like this one is feeding, let me show you this. When this animal feeds, it has a competitor inside its stomach. This animal, I can't remember the name very well. So when this animal is feeding this way, when it swallows the food, the feed, it goes inside the stomach. When it is feeding, when it swallows, it gets a competitor inside there. Once it gets a competitor, so that means competition will undergo inside that stomach. So the feed that was meant for production, those dairy milk that we have given out, the concentrates that we have given out, it will be, much of the nutrients will be absorbed by the parasites. That's why the worms inside. So with that, we won't achieve, actually the nutrients will be deprived, so these animals won't produce that much milk as expected. Another tell about diseases. Once you see some diseases like mastitis, that's why, let me show you when they are milking, where they have some sieves here. When they are milking, there are some sieves here. These are actually the double layered sieves. These are them. These are the sieves. With these sieves, double layer there. Those sieves are placed there because we have some, we call them subclinical, maybe mastitis. We have some types of mastitis. We have subclinical, clinical mastitis, maybe something like acute mastitis. You know, I'm not a vet, but I know these things. So what I want to mean about mastitis, mastitis is the infection in the udder. When animal has mastitis, actually in terms of production decreases. When this production decreases, because you have just interfered with the whole system of because bacteria on the udder. So with this, you get that this mastitis will affect that animal. I think one of the days I'll have to tell you a topic on mastitis, what type of mastitis that we have, and other diseases that can be. So for this about production, I'm going to talk about mastitis. Remember I told you I have a problem of the chest. Like now I'm going just to cough slightly. Yeah, I have chest problem. So like now, you see these animals, the way they look healthy. I was talking about health challenges. Make sure then even your animals are now vaccinated. Vaccination plays a fundamental thing here. What do I mean by vaccination? Vaccination actually plays an important role in preventing these animals from infection, especially the viral infections. Like these animals that you see here, they have been vaccinated against FMD. So for FMD, that is foot and mouth disease, all of them have been vaccinated against that, and it is usually been done twice every year. Remember I told you I'm in benchmarking, so they have been vaccinated well. Another thing is about lumpy skin. These animals have been vaccinated against lumpy skin, where you have some lumps on the skin of this animal. When I was talking about FMD, I never told you some symptoms of MD. You can just get this animal has some sore mouth. The mouth is very sore, it can't feed. It has some wounds in the mouth and on the hooves. When I do this one is the hooves here inside, it has some cracks and the entire thing. That is FMD. Another thing is about anthrax. We have a vaccination for anthrax where it is called blanthrax. So for blanthrax, this is a combination of black water and anthrax. Remember, the symptoms of anthrax is when your animal has blood oozes from openings, maybe from the mouth, nose, eyes, and there behind, we call that region the rectal region. We have some blood discharge. When the animal is dead, you see blood coming from those openings. All the openings have blood. That is what we call anthrax. And I think those are the major vaccines that are being done here, the three of them. Anthrax, foot and mouth. Then we have another one I talked about, lumpy skin. Those are the key fundamental vaccines when you're keeping animals to maintain your production, because once, let's say, a viral infection comes in this of animal, these animals will become sick, and with that you get that in terms of milk production will decrease, and them getting to this, it won't be an easy task. It is like you are starting over and over. Remember, I talked about post-calving care. Once the animal has calved out, remember we have peak prediction period. This is around the first 100 days. This period defines peak production. So this means that with this peak production, there is usually feed aggressively but carefully. Here they are feeding well, the entire thing is well. Another thing that you have to avoid, body condition loss and ketosis. Ketosis is just accumulation of ketone bodies, and this is a negative energy balance. When I talk about negative energy balance, this is ketosis. So you have to do away with ketosis. Remember, all these animals, when I talk post-calving, are the things like ketosis that I'm talking about, and pre-calving. Remember, I trained you guys about how to do steaming up for your animal. Remember, good steaming will matter the production of how your animal will produce. When you do steaming very poorly or badly, the production will be hindered. So like these animals, with the good steaming, everything will be intact. Remember, steaming up, drying period. The drying period actually plays a vital role in terms of calf. Remember I told you calf and the calf that are born here, actually this is the future of the farm. Because once you dry your cow very well, it means it will be having enough colostrum for the calves. It means you'll have enough time for regeneration of the tissues and the cells in the milk. The entire system of the udder will be generated very well, and that will enhance your production. So go watch the clips on steaming up and dry cow. Just to summarize everything here, now I'll take you why we mix all the things to be one meal, apart from feeding the animals while you are milking. Because you can see some animals, when you are milking, we are just giving them some concentrate to feed while milking, but still from there you can see this meal here. It contains everything. We have inside this feed for today. I'll call somebody here to explain what they put here, because I won't take this day training everything. Somebody can train us, but I see he's somehow busy. Let him finish tying that animal. Maybe where need be, I'll help, because I have this experience. I can explain it by myself, but I needed somebody else to explain. So guys, what I wanted to tell you is that the dairy energy, we have it here. The silage, we have it here. The hay, we have it here. Every other thing is composed here. The reason is this, for Mr. Steven to tie this animal well, to finish tying that milking animal and placing the machine, I'll have to tell you something. The reason why we combine the entire thing to be one meal is this. You see, when the animal feed, let's say for example, after combining this thing, let's say without combining, let's say we give the silage alone. After animal is fed on silage alone, you might get that this animal is full. Once the stomach is full, then I come giving it dairy meal. There is maybe this dairy meal can pass in form of maybe waste, without being utilized in the body. That's why we are mixing everything. When the animal eats this meal, it goes sit down like this one. Let me show you this animal. It's lie down like this one, and now regurgitating. Now when it is mixing the entire ration in the mouth, it makes sure when this feed is being assimilated in the body system, the body finds that we have calcium that helps in milk production here and phosphorus. We have all the protein that needs for production there. We have all the energy, because once it is sleeping there, you can see now the way it is breathing. It requires energy. The energy is inside there to help in milk production. and the entire thing. That's the reason why we mix everything as one feed. I can see that Mr. Steven is almost done, so I'll have to wait for him so that he can come at least train us in some three things about feeding these animals. After training us about that, at least he can explain what he puts there, those the entire thing, how he feeds them, because they're being fed 3 times a day. Yeah, in the morning. I told you that that's Adeline. Yeah, I told you Adeline can even decide to mount to the other. This notorious Adeline, small in size but notorious. Huh? Steven, nikusumbue kidogo. Yeah, Steven is coming. Not hard. Just you tell us what you feed this animal with, and we will be done. And maybe you feed 3 times, a day. Yeah, we have to train these people on how we do feeding here. Yeah. You see, Steven will come. As he comes, you have, I think there is water. This is cleaning. Yeah, this is afternoon time. Cleaning has to proceed as normal. Yeah, let Steven pour some milk inside there. Then yeah, let me show you how we pour milk inside here. I'll give somebody a camera, then I go help him. Yeah, see, nishiki camera nimsaidie Steven huko kumwaga maziwa. Eka hiyo kamera huko kwa maziwa nimsaidie. Shika hii kamera, mimi naenda kumwaga maziwa. Nimulike tuko mahali namulika. You have seen, you know, Steven is afraid of the camera, yeah? But you have seen the way you have just done that thing, pouring milk there. That's how we pour that milk over there. You know, even I'm breathing heavy. You know, that's not an easy job. You want to tell you that I have this problem, yeah? Because of this kind of work, yeah? Working early in the morning, yeah? Actually, it reached a point that I had health issues. So as I'm waiting for Steven to come explain to us what is being put here, let me just talk to him first, then I'll be back. We continue. Hello guys, I'm with Steven here. Sometimes I'll need to translate some things. Now he is to take us through what this meal entails, because he's the pioneer here. He's the chief nutritionist, not learned about this animal thing, because initially we used to do doper shipping, and now we are here. Now let us dive deep. Yeah, Steven, Mr. Steven, just face the camera, tell us your name, then we proceed. Yes.
Sometimes weka supermedia.
Yes.
Na kuna wheat bran.
Yes.
Na kuna dairy milk.
Dairy milk, yeah? Okay. Yeah. I'll just translate what Mr. Steven has just said this. In this formulation for today, yeah, he has silage. Yeah? Sometimes they put some napier, super napier. You know about super napier, it has some higher protein levels and the entire thing. Then we have some pollard here, dairy meal. The way I was explaining, we have some dairy meal here. So this is what this feed entails. Yeah? Kuna kingine chochote utaweza kutuelezea? The feeding time, eh? He actually is talking about water. This is clean water, yes. Let's proceed. Cleanliness, yeah. The thing that I was talking about, to make these animals happy. Now cleanliness, yes. Clean water, you can see clean water here. Remember I told you this dirt, this dirt just came from there to here. This is the animal doing this thing. You remember these are animals, they don't have hands to clean this water. So when it is feeding there, sometimes it comes over here, then these things remain inside here. Yes? Yeah. Now you see, now we were talking about calcium. We have this salt lick here. Every corner we have the salt lick, enough of them.
Yeah.
What?
Another one.
Oh, another one. We have plenty of them. You can see these are point of salt lick. Actually, here we have a lot of point where we have salt lick. up, down, and where they are sleeping. Yeah, we have enough salt. Yes. Yeah, where they are sleeping, it has to be very clean. Very clean, because you see, like this animal. This is now animal comfort. That is much that Mr. Steven can tell you, can tell us here on how they're achieving this. Yeah? We have animals here producing more than 40 liters. So that means around 50, 60 liters. Yeah, let me show you some 3 animals. Yeah? Super animals. Yeah, we have for this animal Villa. This is a flag view, but it produces a lot of milk. Then we have this animal called Kate. Kate produces more than 40 liters. Then we have this is Dorcas. Dorcas produces more than 40 liters. This is almost going drying. This is around average of 30 liters. Then we have this is Twigger. Yeah, remember this is Twigger that I told you gave us twins last month. One of them died because of some reasons. Because this is the first animal giving us twins in this farm. Yeah, there was a challenge that I can explain about twinning in animal. Yeah, but I can just explain it faster. Now this Twigger gives us around 52 liters in one day. Remember I told you this is a Holstein Friesian. We have its kid here. That kid, yeah, that kid there. You see that kid is from this Twigger. That kid that is sleeping there in that farthest corner. We lost a twin kid is there. You see, animal system, the reproductive tract of an animal is not as especially the cow. You know, once the animal is on labor, the entire sack and the entire thing, you know, when it is calving, you get that once the one kid is out, it blocks the pathway and the airway inside there. So the kid that is inside, that has remained inside there without noticing, it can get suffocated. It can't breathe because like for this animal, the farmer, Mr. Steven, wasn't aware that it had twins. So after removing one of the kids, the other one remained there, and it calved in the next maybe 20 minutes. When even he had already moved from that site. When it calved down, the kid was dead. Yeah. So from that day, these people have to check. After giving birth, you have to ascertain that this animal has only one kid inside. So that's how we lost this twinning. Basically, was from how we feed this animal. When this nutrition is very good, you know, nutrition plays a fundamental role in terms of twinning. Even the genetics makeup itself plays a fundamental role. So proper nutrition, everything doing standard, you achieve a lot of things. So that's it about how to achieve more than 40 liters in your farm. So we have seen the entire thing. We have seen Mr. Steven here speaking to the camera and any other thing, because you know, I was here helping a lot. So that knowledge, because I was the one who was being taken to those seminars to learn a lot of things. Then after that, I was the nutritionally unlearned chief nutritionist here. But when I left, Steven took over the entire things and is doing it greatly, because the production is remained, the entire thing is remained, and that's how we achieve this. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I go by the name Lumumba Junior. Feel most welcomed. Thank you for today. Goodbye, guys. Till we meet again. I love you guys. Thumbs up. Animal lover, let's proceed learning, guys. Goodbye.